going to be playing an exciting game of it while asking each other some questions about guiding.
Nice.
So, you've played it before, haven't you?
Many moons ago, yeah. So,
Many moons ago.
Master at
but
this.
we'll start
Yeah, you
it.
start.
So I'll start us off. I'll pull one out and ask you a question.
Alright.
How did you get into guiding?
So I actually got asked by someone other than Oscar, a better athlete, and he asked me if I could guide him at the UK school games, so I said yeah, and crashed a few times, clipping in and out of the tandem. It was like driving a bus, and I thought, yeah, this is great fun when you get it up to speed. You can't stop. So yeah, I got into guiding that way, and then a couple of years later, Oscar was looking for a guide, and he DM'd me on Instagram, as I said.
Classy.
And yeah, I just started guiding from there, and yeah, snowball effect.
So I started in 2018 when British Triathlon did a Guides for Gold program for Tokyo 2020. I'd been racing like short course for a few years and kind of wanted a new, like different challenge. So I think getting involved with Paratri seemed like a good way to do it, and you know, try something that not many people actually get to try. So yeah, and then I was, you know, lucky enough to be able to race with Dave in 2019 and onwards. So yeah, it was good fun. It's probably the best thing I've done in triathlon, and I've done quite a bit. So yeah, I love it. You're gonna have to get some marbles coming down here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Brooke, how do you find racing individually and, you know, juggling that with guiding?
I found it at the very start hard to get used to, because individually we don't take into everything in consideration about transitioning where we are and everything going towards the race as well. So it's more about the athlete and making sure they have everything provided. I thought I would have to go in more depth about where we were racing and give him more knowledge, like more information to Alison during the race, like during the recce's and everything, so you don't have to talk as much in the race itself. But then I think I started taking that more into individual racing as well, which made it a lot easier, like going forward. So, yeah. Oh man.
That's more than mine.
I'll take two.
Pull a couple.
Missing turns.
I think I'm winning this.
Yeah, there's a penalty for missing a few. Hey.
Give yourself one more.
I think like from my personal point of view, when I've been racing myself, I know loads of people haven't heard about guiding, and they're very like focused on their own racing, where I think now, like with social media, it's quite good to show them that actually guiding's really like another part of triathlon. Like it's really important, and you can do really cool stuff with that. And I think, yeah, for people to know that guiding's an option is like really important.
Yeah. Especially because we've got like such a good group of like VI athletes in British Triathlon, and you know, they need guides, they need people to race with, so that, you know, they can really like fulfill the potential, because like you say, we have got like world class athletes here, and you know, so guiding definitely is like a necessity for them, and it's important to make sure that the numbers are there and make sure the athletes are available to guide.
I even think if other people have never been on a tandem themselves, so not the VI but the guides, I think like I had never seen a tandem before I got asked to go on one. So I wouldn't say you have to have ridden a tandem to guide someone. So if you know someone that is a VI, then just to give it a go. If you can ride a bike, you can ride a tandem.
Yeah.
Pull these out.
Damn, boy!
I think there's one left.
You got a couple.
Yeah, I think maybe like a big sort of myth, I guess, with guiding is it's easy. I think a lot of people say, how hard are you actually pushing? And the truth is you're on the limit yourself. Like, you know, there are two people in this race and you're both pushing each other. You know, there's no cruising along and, oh, you know, I'll take it easy. You know, the athletes we have here, like the VI athletes, are world-class athletes. They are elite athletes. and you need to be, you know, at their level to make sure that they, you know, are competitive in the race, because the races aren't, you know, Mickey Mouse races. These are, you know, World Triathlon Series races. These are, you know, the big deal. These are the big stage races.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely not easy work, but it's definitely rewarding.
So I always get asked, who is on the front of the tandem? Is the guide on the back? Is the athlete on the front? And usually I like to give them a minute to think about it. Like if you want a VI in charge of your brakes, and it's no offence to them, but I don't think they would know when to brake. So guides are always on the front of a tandem.
Yeah, another thing I get asked is, do you actually pedal on the bike? I'm like, how does this work? Do I just sit there and steer it? Nah.
Poor Oscar having to
That's a
push you
lot
both
of
up the
push.
hill.
Yeah, I know, it's got to be tough for him. He's got to push me as well. Nah, yeah, guides actually pedal on the bike as well. And we can go quite hard if we want.
The pedals go in time, but you're always spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no walkie-talkie either.
No walkie-talkie.
So, you know, we're not just letting VI athletes out and just walkie-talking to them. We're actually either tethered to them so we can, you know, grab them if we need to. Or,
someone thought I had to like swim next to him in the water and like describe his course, like go a bit straighter.
While you were swimming?
While I was swimming, but you actually attach at the leg, so he doesn't go too far away from you.
Can't really talk that well.
You can't talk in the
No.
well. It's more like if he's coming away, like you try and he feels the tug, and if he comes too close, you hit him. He goes a bit further away.
Not hard though.
Not too hard.
Not too hard. Just a little bit.
Sometimes.
Just a little bit. And we do all three sports. We don't just go on the bike.
yeah.
We do have to swim, bike and run the whole race with them. We don't just let them go by themselves, because that could be a disaster. And yeah, for signalling in the swim, you have to practice that. You can't just go and swim next to them for the first time.
So we actually do the whole race together. Like there's only one guide for the whole race rather than 3 separate ones. So yeah.
Just waiting in transition next to the bike.
Yeah, it's a piece of, you don't tag the next guy when you're done. No, sadly we have to do the whole thing.
And guides get a medal.
And guides do get a medal, which is really good.
As well as the athlete.
And they can cause penalties just as much as the athlete as well.
Yeah, so same rules apply with like transition and stuff like that. You know, everything has to go in the box and helmet on and stuff.
Yeah, so the athlete could nail it and the guide might not, and then you get a penalty and wonder why.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and that's also another thing you've got to be aware of as a guide, like the penalty board.
Oh
so
yeah,
obviously
I always forget. I used to forget.
You've got to make sure that you read it, because you know, your athlete might not be, you know, probably won't be able to see the board, and you've got to make sure that you communicate like if you have got a penalty, because you obviously don't want to miss it. Me and Dave have raced before, and the tether has got trapped around the buoy, so I was stuck under the water. But luckily, like, you know, like you say, keeping a cool head, like Dave actually kept a cooler head, and he could feel like he wasn't like
going forward,
and I was under there.
I was looking at the buoy like, why is it moving away? Because Dave and Luke were dragging it. I'm like, what's going on here?
So he stopped, and like, you know, and then we got the tether back on and carried on the race. But you know, I think, like you say, having a cool head, and you know, stuff's not always going to go right at the end of the day, even in individual racing, never mind with guidance. So you know, if you do, like you say.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a race where it's 100% gone to plan. Like, I don't know if anyone has. So,
it'd be a hard ask.
The whole sport is about your ability to overcome problems, especially in the race.
Early days, mate. Still,
I'm still a teenager.
You're right.
This game's
You haven't got any, have you?
I've got like 9. So.
You got the last one, so you lost. They're yours.
I'll take it.